Multiplying decimals. Multiplying decimals is pretty easy. It's not all that different from multiplying whole numbers. You can use the traditional method or the lattice method. Let me use the lattice method for this one. So I got find the product of 6 times 3 and 91 hundredths. So I write 3.91, 3 and 91 hundredths, and then a 6. Draw my rectangle for the lattice. I've got 3 numbers up above it, so I need to have 3 columns, and I have 1 6 on the right, so I need to have 1 row. Draw my diagonals. And now I need to start multiplying. So 1 times 6 is 6. 9 times 6 is 54. 3 times 6 is 18. Now I add along the diagonals. I've got 6, 4, 13, carry the 1, 2. Now this is the part where it's different than multiplying whole numbers. We need to be concerned about where does the decimal go. And to do this, we count decimal places. So here's the decimal, and I count 1 number, 2 numbers, so 2 digits after the decimal place, and that's how many are going to be in the answer. So I start on the right side here, and I come over 1, 2 times. So the product is going to be 23 and 46 hundredths. Find the product of 3 times 16 thousandths. You don't have to use the lattice method. You can also use the traditional method. So I've got 0 and 16 thousandths times 3. Multiply it just like normal. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus this 1 is going to be 4. 3 times 0 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. Now what we do is we count the number of spaces after the decimal. 1, 2, 3. So there needs to be 3 decimal places in the answer. So I start on the right and I come over 1, 2, 3. And the answer is going to have the decimal right there. So the answer is 0 and 48 thousandths. Here we have one where it's a decimal times a decimal. Don't worry, you can do it either way with lattice method or traditional method. So I'm going to start with the lattice method. I'm going to put 4.8 and 7.2. Draw the rectangle. I have 2 numbers above, so I need to cut it in half, and 2 numbers on the right, so I got to cut it in half that way. Draw the diagonals. Now I go ahead and multiply. 8 times 7 is 56. 8 times 2 is 16. 4 times 7 is 28. 4 times 2 is 8. Now I add along the diagonals. Here's 6, 15, carry the 1, 14, carry the 1, and I have 3. So my answer is 3, 4, 5, 6. But I'm not done yet. I need to figure out, here's my decimal, 1 number is after it. Here's my decimal, and there's another number after it. So there's a total of 2 decimal places that I have to put into the answer, and I have to go over 1, 2 times. So the answer is 34 and 56 hundredths. Let's try it the traditional way also. 4 and 8 tenths times 7 and 2 tenths. 2 times 8 is 16, carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9. 7 times 8 is 56. 6. Make sure I put my 0 there because I'm starting in the tens place. Carry the 5. 4 times 7 is 28 plus 5 is 33. Go ahead and add that. I got 6. 9 and 6 is 15. Carry the 1. There's 4. There's 3. So again, I got to remember there's 2 numbers after the decimal, so I start on the right and go over 1, 2 times. So the answer is 34 and 56 hundredths, and I can see that lattice method or traditional method, I got the same answer. Here's a tough one. We got to use the order of operations. What is the value of 2 and 44 hundredths times the quantity of 4 and a half minus 3 and 175 thousandths? Order of operations says that I need to do the parentheses first. So I got 4 and 5/10 minus 3 and 175 thousandths. I can't forget that there's nothing here, so I put zeros and then I subtract. Well, I can't take 5 from 0, so I'm going to have to borrow. This 5 becomes a 4. This becomes a 10. Borrow from that. It becomes a 9. And this one becomes 10. So that's 5, 2, 3. Decimal comes straight down. 1. Now to finish, there is no sign here. That means that it's going to be multiplication. I have to multiply 1 and 325 thousandths times 2 and 44 hundredths. So 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 2 plus 2 is 10. 4 times 3 plus 1 is 13. 4 times 1 plus 1 is 5. Put a 0 and multiply 4 times all those numbers again. And put 2 zeros this time. Multiply by 2. 5 times 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 2 times 2 plus 1 is 5. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. And I got to add all that up. So 0, 0, 3, 13, 12, 3. And now I got to count all the decimal places after the decimal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there needs to be 5 in the answer. So I come over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Decimal goes right there. So the answer, the final answer is 3 and 233 thousandths.